The board looked at purchasing the golf course. At that time, Shea owned it, and that didn't go very well. And then they were trying to sell it. So at that time, we also had going on as Shea was finishing up the work or getting close, and as part of their exit plan, or to finish out the development over at Marks Road, they were proposing building an 8,500 square foot clubhouse. Well, the board and the people at that time looked at it and analyzed it, and a clubhouse would have been a shell. Trilogy would have had to outfit it, build the inside, so it didn't get us a complete clubhouse. But we had a committee that did a lot of work, did a good job, looked at it, and figured out that we needed 12,000 square feet instead of 8,500 square feet. Well, as we found out with the vote a year ago, we don't need or don't want a 12,000 square foot clubhouse, especially with the inflation-driven prices and things due to COVID. So it'd be very difficult for one person to build 8,000 square feet of a clubhouse and another entity build 4,000. So it kind of pivoted, and Shea decided to, working with the board, we did have a vote to whether or not to purchase the golf course, and that vote had a really good turnout. It had about 80% of the homeowners voting, and 77 or 80% of those voted to acquire the golf course. So the board voted to acquire the golf course. This is in 2018. If you know about mytrv.org, you can look up the minutes from one of the 2018 meetings. And at that meeting, they also voted, and Shea was going to pursue purchasing the golf course. After they bought the golf course, they would use the remainder of the money to renovate it or fix it up, and at that point, deed it over to the HOA. Warrior put a big kink in the plans by deciding to declare bankruptcy, and they declared bankruptcy in Texas, not just for this golf course, but for several others that they own. So the HOA board at that time retained an attorney in Texas, and we ended up buying it out of the bankruptcy court. During that time, in 2019, the board formed a golf advisory committee consisting of 5 people: Bill Ament, Lynn Traver, Gary Sayer, Barry Slavin, and Ron Chalmers. And they were tasked with working with Shea on the renovation, and then when that switched over to us buying it, they worked hard to try to acquire the golf course. There's a lot of things you have to go through. Barry Slavin, who was the go-between between the city of Walnut Creek and Boundary Oak Golf Course Management there, was very instrumental in helping this process along, as was Ron Chalmers, who worked in the golf industry, and Gary Sayer and the other members of the golf advisory.